guys, it's Nicole. So this video today is inspired by Shan Boody. If you don't know her, she's a relationship kind of sex YouTuber, and a lot of her vlogs are on sex education and those types of things, dating. I love her so much and her content because I love her transparency. She not only talks about these things that deal with sex and women and dating, but she also talks about her journey trying to make it in LA, Hollywood. And I think that's so relatable in her career thus far. She now has a new channel called The Examined Life that she shares with her living boyfriend. I think they're in an open relationship, and so they definitely give a different perspective and a different spin on some of the things that we're used to seeing online. The recent upload that they did was called 10 Things I Love About You. And they both went back and forth telling each other what they loved, you know, up into 10 things. And it was so endearing to watch. I think at one point she got emotional, teary-eyed, she started crying. But just watching that and that type of love and that type of communication among two people, especially in this day and age of social media, and it's hard to connect. I think more people should sit down with the person that they love or their significant other, their partner, and every once in a while, like, remind them of the things that they love so much. Because I could be with anyone else, but why am I here right now? Out of all the people in the world I could be with, I'm here with you, and these are the reasons. That's incredible to me, and I think that should be done more often. But after I watched the video, I just thought, like, a lot of times we could tell, like, you know, our boyfriend, our friend, our mate, you know, things we like about them, but how often do we tell ourselves, like, these are the things I love about you? And I feel like once you're able to sit down with yourself and say, I love you, you know, I don't think we tell each other that enough. That's when, especially for people who are single, you get to attract the person that's for you in your life, because you love all these amazing things about yourself, and now you're trying to find someone that complements that type of love that you have for yourself, and is able to treat you and have the same respect for you and knows your worth. And when we don't know our worth and don't know those many things that are so amazing about who we are, that's when we end up with bad people or people who aren't for us. They're trying to force people. I've tried to force so many people to love me. Like, it's almost embarrassing, some of the things I've done over the last 5 years. Forget my lifetime, the last 5 years, trying to get the attention of people, or trying to, like, get their love, or want them to realize that I'm special. But I didn't know I was special, you know, and I didn't know I was amazing. And so this video today is me saying, these are the things I love about you, dear Necole. But these are the things that I love about myself. And a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about, I could not say I loved them last year. And I couldn't say that I loved them the year before and the year before. Like, these are newfound loves that I have for myself. And this year is about giving myself more credit. So let's start. Okay, so number one. The one thing I really love about myself is that I'm resilient. And when I look at my life as a whole, and, like, my journey, like, it's so many bits and pieces of my journey that people don't even know about, because it's been so complex that I just haven't talked about it much. And it's funny because I've at points in my life wanted to write a book, you know, and I feel like people are like, what's so special about you that you want to write a book? And they think that the only aspect of me in my life that people want to know about is me being a celebrity gossip blogger. And that was just a small piece of who I am and my journey and what I've been through and the obstacles that I've overcome. But I like my resilience because when I look at the fact that, like I said, before I was even 23, 24, I had lost both of my parents. I have no living grandparents. My last living grandparent died last year. 2 years before that, my grandmother. Like 8 years before that, my other grandmother, and there was a grandparent that had passed before I was born. And so just having all these different losses back to back to back, like I think that would have broke a lot of people. They would have wanted to know, why am I still here? And why am I pushing so hard? Who am I working for? There has been times that I think I let those negative thoughts get into my head, and I'm like, why am I here? Who am I working for? My parents aren't here to see and be proud of what I've accomplished. I don't have kids or a husband that can be proud of these things, and you celebrate all these different milestones in your life alone, and it can be hurtful, but I've never let it stop me from keep pushing, keep going, keep being a winner. Even when I had failures and didn't have like that base of parental support to just go and run and cry to, I kept pushing, I kept going. I'm still, out of all the things that have happened in my life, I'm still here, and I still got a smile on my face. And I think that is like one of the things I love about me most. And try not to make myself cry. Another thing I really love about myself is I have an amazing tribe. Sometimes when I hang up the phone with one of my girlfriends, I'm just amazed at the conversations we have. They're so progressive. They're always about self-development, personal fulfillment. You know, it's rarely ever you get us talking crap about someone or like wasting our minutes of our lives like in like deep-rooted gossip and downfalls of other people. Like we don't talk about those things. Like when me and my girlfriends are on the phone, we're talking about like how we can be better people, and how can we be of more support of each other, what we can give back to the world, legacies. When I took a tally of all the women I knew, and even the women I have access to that we wouldn't call each other best friends, but just associates, my mentors that have come into my life, and people in my space that I'm able to call up at any given time. I'm like, I am lucky, because there are people, especially women, who don't have that type of circle. They may not have direct access to women that are like that, and they said that you are like what the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And that's so true. Like who we decide to let in our life and in our circle are who we become. And so if you have like people around you and you notice every time they come around, they're not interested in like talking about like your next project you have going on. They'd rather talk about like who Sally down the street is dating and how he's beating on her or cheating on her. That ain't the type of people for you. Especially if you're in a transitional point in your life when you're trying to progress and you're trying to go to the next level. If you notice one of your friends is always on social media, like going in on somebody or being angry or like, you know, always looking for a battle, that's probably not the type of person you want to be around at this point in your life. So when we get to stages where we're trying to elevate ourselves, we definitely have to be mindful of the people that we allow in our space. And I'm so thankful that I have amazing people that I know and that I communicate with every single day, that only help me be a better person and have contributed to me being the best version of myself I could be this year. So that's one of the things I really love about myself. Another thing that I like about myself is I don't want to sound vain, but I do love my body. And I only say that because I've been on a really strict and what I like to say, amazing fitness journey this year. You know, I plan to be in a fitness competition, which is coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. And it's changed me so much. There was a time where, I believe it was 2010, I hated everything about my body. You know, it wasn't, and now that I look back, I didn't like my body because there were people online telling me things about my body that they didn't like. I allowed people to point out my flaws or things that they felt were flaws in me, and I'm so mad that I allowed those type of influences to influence how I felt about myself. I remember in 2010, I went to like get a breast boob job consultation. The doctor and his entire staff all said to me, your breasts are so beautiful. And that's not what you say to people when you're in business to give them bigger breasts. But they genuinely were like, you have nice breasts. We see breasts all day. Like, you have nice breasts. But I still went, and I still went through with the surgery. 2 weeks later, had a new set of boobs, way too big for my body. And so I carried around these way too big boobs for like 2 or 3 years. I remember I used to just hide, you know, under clothing. I used to dress very doll-like, and people didn't understand why. It was because I had these huge boobs I was trying to cover up. And like 3 years later, I went back on New Year's while everybody was celebrating, you know, going into 2013, I believe it was. I was laid up in a hotel room, fresh out of surgery, getting the boobs taken out because I knew I couldn't go into another year with those humongous boobs that were too big for my body. And, you know, I was having back problems, and that made me realize, like, by then I'm out of like $10,000 or $15,000. I think that was God teaching me a lesson. Like, you thought this was a flaw, and then you went and tried to fix it, and you just made it worse. And now you have to undo what you've done. And I've gotten to the place where I'm like, okay, I love me. I love how I look. And my fitness journey plays a big part in it. Just seeing my body transition over the last 5 months as I prepared for this fitness competition in 2 weeks. It was a time where I probably had 1 or 2 mirrors in the house. Now, I don't care where you turn in my house, there is a mirror. And it's because, like, I want to make sure every time I'm walking past a mirror, looking in a mirror, that every single day I am happy with that girl that's looking in that mirror. And so that could count as another thing I love about myself, that I love the girl that's looking back at me in the mirror every single day. And there was a time when I couldn't say that, like, especially after I left my website. I remember looking in the mirror and not even knowing who I was. Like, who is this girl? She's totally different than the girl that I knew 8 years ago. What does she like? What does she like? I didn't know. And sometimes we get so caught up and so lost. We drown in the quest for success, and on that journey for success, sometimes we lose who we are. It happens. You sometimes become an idea that people have of you versus who you really are. But while you're finding yourself, there's so much purpose in that. So again, I have all these mirrored, like even my console and my drawers and all these mirrored things in my life, so that I'm constantly looking at this reflection and constantly doing a mental check, like, girl, do you like who you are today? I remember hearing Malik saying something like this before: are you who you say you are? And I truly can say I am this year. I can't promise you I was other years of my life, but I will tell you, this year I'm definitely who I say I am, and I definitely love that reflection as looking back, and I totally know who I am as a person, and I love that. Another thing I love about myself is that I'm okay with hearing no as an answer. I'm okay with rejection. And I'm okay with rejection because it's just redirection. Like, I'm looking at a lot of things in my life now. When people tell me no, or I don't get something, I don't care if it's a role or an advertising buy or an interview or whatever it is, coverage. I don't get invited to an event. I don't get invited to a lot of things now. And I used to be so butthurt over those type of things. I'm not now. I'm okay. Some rooms I don't need to be in, you know, and I don't care to be in anymore. Like, because things aren't for the look for me anymore. I move with intention, and everything I do, it has intention behind it, it has purpose behind it, or I don't need to be doing it. So I don't need to be in a room just to say I'm in there if I haven't done anything to get there, or if it's just, I've invited you to this room because I just want you to post this on your site, versus I really feel like you need to be in this room because of the magic you bring. I may not be considered black girl magic to some people anymore. I don't really care. I'm Necole magic. I bring magic into my own life. And this stage of self-discovery that I got going on right now is enough magic for me. And I only brought that up because I think there was a list that came out recently, and they've named like all these amazing women that were black girl magic, and people kept tweeting me like, you need to be on this list, or tweeting the outlet, and I'm like, you know, like, I'm still in self-discovery. I'm okay with not being black girl magic, but you don't think I'm black girl magic. Like, you know, you're not gonna make every list. You know, this is, all these lists are opinion. You're not gonna make every list. You're not gonna be invited to every event. I know that a lot of people think that, well, let me give myself some credit. I do believe that my transition from being a gossip blogger and saying I want to do better and launching a website solely to inspire women is as magic as it gets. But I'm not here right now for the recognition or any like monetary gain that's not, like I said, purposeful. So those things don't matter to me anymore. So I say all that to say, I've been told so many times in my career, even over the last 8 years that I had a celebrity gossip blog, it was just a lot of no's before I got to the yeses. And I needed those no's to appreciate those yeses so much more. So when I don't get something that I wanted really bad, I'm just like, okay, you know, something better is coming. If one door closes, a bigger door is gonna open for me. And you have to have that type of faith, and you have to have that type of trust in God to even like progress and evolve and elevate, because if not, you're going to be mad at the world. I think the world is against you, and that's so counterproductive to who you want to become and who you want to be. Like, you use those no's to figure out how you can be better, and you keep drawing your vision, and you keep working towards executing and accomplishing your goals, and in due time those doors would just open so much more freely for you. So I love that I can take no. I love that I don't take it personal when I'm not included in any list or anything. Look at this chapter of my life. It's chapter 1 all over again, you know. And I can't expect, I'm new to this space, I'm new to everything. So maybe in 5 or 10 years after I've put in the work in this particular project, I may feel away. I don't feel away right now. I'm a student, and I'm just learning. I think that's about it. Oh, and this is a big one. I love that I won't settle. And I don't care how long that makes me single. I will not settle for someone who doesn't love, cherish, and adore me the way I know I deserve to be loved. And now that I have all this self-love, and I've discovered all these bits and pieces of myself that are so amazing and that I love so much, like this guy that comes into my life that ends up being my soulmate and ends up being my life partner, because I'm not just looking for a boyfriend or a husband, I'm looking for a life partner. You know, I remember talking to my trainer, and he was like, one of my trainers, and he was like, you know, don't you want to like have some guys for practice? Practice? Like, where's that Allen Iverson clip where you need, we're talking about practice, not a game, but practice. I just feel like I'm in a stage in my life where if someone isn't for me, I know I have great discernment, and I know pretty early on. And I've known of all the guys I've dated, I've tried to trick myself into believing, oh, this guy is for. I have better discernment now. There's no point in me practicing with someone that I know is not for me. Like that I know deep down in my heart that is not for me. Because I'm only setting myself up for heartbreak. I'm only setting myself up to build a bigger wall, you know, and be way more guarded and be way more defensive in relationships. And I don't want that. I want to be able to go into relationships and be like very trusting and loving and not have all these stipulations or skepticism because I'm with someone that I know I shouldn't be with. You know, I think I want to bypass all that drama. So I bypass all that drama by not settling and not even allowing those type of men that I know, like, you're totally not for me, not even allowing them in my immediate space. So I really am proud of that. You know, for a long time I was very hard on myself about not being in a relationship, and then I realized it's just that I just haven't found the one for me. And I'll keep looking, and I'll keep dating, and I'll keep being friendly until I know, but I won't go into something serious unless I really think and really believe that that is the one for me. And that's all the things I love about myself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you can share with me in the comments at least 5 things you love about yourself. Like, give me 5. If you can make it a 10, I love it. Give me 10. But if you can give me 5 things you love about who you are, that'll be amazing. And until next time.